Hi guys, it's Mrs. Everly. I'm going to be teaching all of you session 7 in writing today. And this session is called Fiction Writers Create Characters with Real Wants and Troubles That Matter. So writers, we have spent the last bend, which is the last 2 weeks of school, really thinking about personal narrative stories. Stories that have happened to us and we were the main characters in the story. But this bend, I'm going to challenge you to think about realistic fiction stories. So again, when we think about realistic fiction, it's things that could happen, but you're not going to be the main character. You're going to have other people who are going to be the characters. But again, it has to be something that could happen that is realistic. So flying pigs, jumping out of an airplane as a 10-year-old, that is not realistic. So again, I'm going to kind of share with you this process of what I'm looking for during this type of writing. So again, the first rule, the first most important thing, this is realistic fiction. This is not about you anymore. Now, it could be about something that happened to you, but you're going to include other characters' names. You're going to maybe come up with a different ending. Maybe something that didn't happen exactly to you. Maybe it was the ending that you wanted it to happen. But again, whatever the trouble is, whatever the story is, whatever the character is, we want to make them realistic. We want them to have wants, we want them to have troubles, and we want the trouble to be solved somehow. But sometimes it's not going to be a magical bow that wraps up your story all pretty. Sometimes it might not have a happy ending, and that is okay. But again, that is the whole part of realistic fiction, is that there's going to be troubles, okay? So you're going to start with a small moment. Okay, something that happened. Then you're going to go into a scene. So you're going to explain what's going on. Okay, you're going to play out like kind of that video of what was said, what was done, people's reactions. So again, I like to really focus on an hour or less. So in that hour or less, could you think of an event that happened to you or event that you saw? So maybe you were at the park and you overheard a conversation. Maybe you were with a friend and you overheard a fight between the mom and the brother or sister of that friend. So again, really think about things that you've seen. Maybe it was something on TV. But again, think about those things that you've experienced and put it to paper. And then you want to make sure that that you include what the character does. Okay, so what are their actions? And then what the character says, okay? So there should be dialogue. What did you say? What did your character hear from other people? And then how did your character respond to what was being said? And make sure that you really start off showing the character's wants and the troubles, okay? What does the character want? And how is that character going to try to solve what it wants? Like, how is it going to get that way, okay? And what are the troubles? And then really, these stories, the trouble gets worse. The trouble should not be, I had to go get the mail, went to the mailbox, end of story. You guys, that's not a great story. There's really not trouble. That's not going to be a page or two that a reader is going to want to read. So ask yourself, what is something realistic that's happened to you? And again, you're not going to put your name to paper. You get to create your own name. You get to create your own characters. But again, it can be based on something that has happened to you, but it might be a different problem, and it might come with a different solution. So I'm going to share my new story with you. So again, my first story was about being yelled at as my first year as a 4th grade teacher by another teacher at Royal Oaks. I'm done with that story because that's personal narrative. So that's what I did in Bend 1. This one, I'm doing realistic fiction. So again, I'm thinking about a story that actually did happen to me, but I'm going to create another person's name, and I'm also going to kind of create a different ending to my story. But again, thinking about a problem, something that has happened to me, something that has happened to someone else, but then I can then put it to paper. Okay? So my story is called Sarah and Her Mom. So with the volleyball bouncing off the garage, Sarah's mom walked outside. She said, "Ready for soccer?" Sarah quickly put the volleyball away and yelled back, "Sure." Sarah got out her soccer ball, which was the one she had gotten for Christmas. She had been hoping for volleyball pads instead. So, you guys, I just started drafting, and I did this in probably 5 minutes or less. But I have a character, so my character is Sarah, and Sarah's mom, okay? And the problem is that she's playing volleyball, but her mom says she has to play soccer. So the trouble is Sarah wants to continue to play volleyball. She wants to continue to practice, and she doesn't want to go to soccer. And, her mom for Christmas bought her a soccer ball, but she wanted volleyball pads. So to me, the problem that seems in this story is this girl, Sarah, she really likes volleyball, but that her mom doesn't support her in that her mom's kind of pushing her to really like soccer. So again, as I get farther into the story, I want to continue to talk about the wants. Like, what did Sarah want? What did the mom want? And then really think about, how does the trouble get worse? But again, writers, I want you guys to really think about a character and a problem, and then I want you guys to start drafting. Really asking yourself, what's being said? What is the troubles? What are the actions of your character? Bye.